Brrr Buddies, Rayn here. It's the start of a new year, so what does that mean? We get to be hyped about all the new games coming out that will heavily disappoint us and break all their promises. I'm pessimistic, what can I say? As great as it is to be hyped and excited, we also need to bring ourselves to reality somewhat. Even if the games I mention here aren't technical messes, you just can't beat the imagination, as they say. So let's not try and ruin the games for ourselves for one. But even then, nothing wrong with a little excitement, am I right? Here are the games I'm most excited for this year. There'll be no rumoured games like Donkey Kong, Xenoblade 3 or Metroid Prime Remastered. Anyway, so let's start with the obvious three. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Finally, for the first time in about 26 years I think, Game Freak is doing something different with Pokemon's gameplay. First off, the big difference is that there will be no gym leaders like the other games, and the game is going to be semi-open world. I heard it's in the same style as the Monster Hunter games, but a tiny bit more open. Those two changes alone would be a big difference, but they are also ditching the traditional battle system. While still somewhat turn-based, the battle will instead follow a kind of leader system with the strongest Pokemon going first or even having multiple turns. So in theory you could start a battle with your opponent attacking first, but then you could get 2 turns afterwards, where you could attack and then heal in the next turn. Also, the battle themselves will happen in the open world instead of a separate battle screen. But you also must initiate the battle yourself by throwing your Pokemon at your opponent. Like, you have to aim and throw the Pokeball with an actual aiming system. That's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. You also have to aim and throw your own Pokeball to capture wild Pokemon. Basically, this game looks like this will be the closest to a Pokemon game we've wanted since we were kids. Something like the actual anime itself. For the actual story, you're ancient travellers who have discovered a new region called Hizu, which in modern times is the Sinnoh region. Yeah, I know I butchered that, but who cares. And in the game, you have to survive and build up a hub area of Jubilee Village. That's all I know about so far. I assume Arceus is involved in some capacity, but that's it. I just don't want to spoil it for myself. Elden Ring. Yeah, it's obvious. I know, but I am excited for it. Probably not as much as other people. I'm going to be honest here and say people will be disappointed by this game, as it just looks like Dark Souls in an open world. There is nothing wrong with that at all. That's kind of why I'm excited. I want to see how From Software will take the idea. I'm really sick of Western open world games, so I'm interested to see a Japanese studio take on the genre that's not an anime game that plays like an MMO. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Xenoblade. I actually like Xenoblade, but the gameplay is a bit hit and miss for me. It's not a bad game at all. Quite like it. Recommend it. I've always liked Dark Souls gameplay, so even if it's just another Dark Souls game, I'll honestly just be happy with that alone. But I am interested in what George R.R. Martin brings to the table, as he basically either made or at least helped make the world. Also, I'm up for a dark fantasy world to get my teeth into. I've been after a new fantasy world to get into for a bit now, but I can't find what I'm after. I do hope Elden Ring's helped me with that. Maybe it will with the open world. I hope they keep the mysteries in like the other games to get cool items. This could be a really great fantasy game for the world building alone, and I pray they don't bugger it up. Of course, I've got to mention Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. I know I said no rumoured games, but come on, it's been nearly 5 years, which was as long as the first game's development, and Nintendo is advertising it like hell for 2022. They want it out this year. Anyway, Breath of the Wild was a great game thanks to its level of freedom that I still haven't found in any other game. Even the rip-off ones missed the points in places like control feel, combat, or just being soulless rip-offs. So just the idea alone of having that game in that style and it not being shit is getting me hyped. But just look at the trailers. We got underground caverns with ancient history, floating islands in Hyrule Castle, Link with a weird ghost hand thing, and he's phasing through the floors. And of course, Ganondorf zombie. From interviews with the producers, apparently this game will be one of the darkest Zelda games since Majora's Mask. That is exciting. Normally Nintendo does some weird shit when they make a sequel to a Zelda game. Look at the pre-mentioned Majora's Mask, Link's Awakening, and to a certain degree, Twilight Princess. What this game offers, in my opinion, is basically taking Breath of the Wild's ideas and is going to toss out the bad ones and refine the good ones. and that alone is enough to get me excited. The trailers look great, but we still haven't seen a title or full-on gameplay, though I think by the time E3 comes around that will change, maybe even before that. Splatoon 3. Anyone who knows me knows I think multiplayer games are garbage. There are extreme exceptions to the rules, and the Splatoon series is one of them. I don't know if it's because of the colourful cartoony graphics, music, or just general world building of being part of a world of evolved squid after humanity's demise that gets me, but the gameplay certainly helps. This is a third person shooter where the aim of the main game mode is to paint all the floors of the map instead of actually shooting your opponents. This on paper is silly, but it's not only surprisingly fair to beginner players, but extremely intense to even high level players. Painting the floors not only gets you points, but it also allows you to travel faster in your squid form, so you could get around the map quicker and paint more floors. The gameplay loop is absolutely genius thinking about it. What I'm interested in this time around though is that it's going for an apocalyptic Mad Max vibe with its appearance so far. And so far it looks incredible. I can't wait to get back into some Splatfest with Splatoon 3, and I hope to see you guys there as well. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. The only Kirby game I ever played was the other one on the Switch, Star Allies I think it was called. It was a cute little game, but I think it wasn't the best one to start Kirby with. But I wanted to properly try the series for a while. I remember the anime they had out and it was so good, but I just never picked up the game. I don't know why. Can't answer you that one. But this particular game might be my gateway in. It's the first ever truly 3D Kirby game ever made. Sure, there have been plenty with 3D models, but they're always played like a 2D game. There has never been a mainline 3D Kirby game as far as I'm aware. While people are hoping for something in the style of Mario Odyssey but with Kirby, I expect a more Super Mario 3D World approach to the game, but that doesn't mean I'm not excited. If Kirby needs to take baby steps to get to open-ended 3D, let it. I still think this could be one of the best Kirby games ever made, just simply by pushing the series out its comfort zone. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. We might finally get this game after it being announced so long ago. LEGO Star Wars is the best LEGO game series ever made. There is no argument, and the possibility of basically having the best of from the series in fancy new graphics and everything, that sounds really nice. I personally think that's not what they're going for, and it'll be like kind of set pieces from the films and stuff, but that doesn't matter as long as it's fun and got a good sense of humour. I'm up for a really silly game like this year. Evil Dead the game. I absolutely adore Evil Dead, and it's a damn shame we didn't get a proper ending to the TV show. Even if it was in a comic form or something, it would have been nice, but oh well. This game now looks like it will be a love letter to the entire series that we've been waiting for. It's a multiplayer game where a group of survivors that fight against player-controlled deadites. The monsters from the series, if you don't know. Now, there is a few survivor player versus monster player games that have been released over the years, and they're mostly shit. Why the hell would I want to be a survivor when I could be a monster? Evil Dead has a fix for that though, by simply making the survivors badass. Not only do you have the king himself, Ash Williams, who has been played by the legend Bruce Campbell, you also get your fan favourites from all of the series history, including the original film series and the TV show. So you know you're going to get a handful of cool characters like Kelly and Pablo from the TV show. Honestly, I think the actress and the character of Kelly should just take over as Ash, to be honest. Not play Ash, but be the new Ash, because I'll be 100% behind that. She was awesome in the show. If this game grabs a player base, it could have an even amount of players as survivors and deadites. I mean, being the monster's cool, but you also get to have a chainsaw arm and play as Bruce Campbell. Let's be honest, who wouldn't want to be Bruce Campbell? Because I certainly love to play a game as Bruce Campbell. Need to try the old ones at some point. Anyway, there will also be a single player mode as well. Don't know what that entails, but it means the game won't be dead as the Friday 13th game, I hope. I think it's made by the same people, so I'm a bit cautious. But there should be a better budget this time around than 500,000, really bad for a game. And hopefully the rights won't get into legal disputes like Friday 13th did. Fingers crossed. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. A classic style beat 'em up game with beautiful pixel artwork. You take the role of one of the Turtles or April and fight classic enemies such as the Foot Clan, Krang and Bebop with Rocksteady and Shredder across New York and Dimension X. The game was inspired by the 80s show and the original Konami beat-em-up games, which were great by the way. And this game is being developed by the team that made the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World game. It features 4-player co-op and online multiplayer. I'd be shocked if this game turned out to be a dud with the ideas, influence and developers behind it. Also, random note, the idea of April beating the shit out of the Shredder is funny. It's just funny. I love it. I might just buy the game just to see that happen alone. And our last game, the big one I'm excited for, it's the one that I don't know about. Cop out I know, but some of my most favourite games ever were the ones I really didn't know anything about them. From Luigi's Mansion and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker from my childhood, to Doom 2016, Mario Odyssey and Resident Evil 2 remake in my adulthood. These were all games that I was either aware of but took zero interest in looking them up and just got them on a whim, or never heard of and just took a leap of faith. These are some of the greatest games I ever played in my life. And I cannot deny the idea of a game I don't know about that is out there waiting for me is probably going to be the most exciting thing I'm going to play in 2022. It's pretty exciting. You can't be let down by something you don't know about. You can say it's bad, but you're not let down by it, are you? If you just pick someone up and it's just great, how great that is. That is just great. You just picked it randomly and it's great. We all need moments like that in our lives. And I just love it when I find it. Don't you? Anyway. Thank you all for watching. Why don't you put in the comments what games you're looking forward to this year? Or just movies or books or whatever. Just comment what you're interested in this year. And hope to see you again in the next video. Right? Brrr Buddies.